Hi, everyone. Today, I want to talk about can you handle the truth? Now, for a second here, I am going to be reading off of a script that I wrote. I'm only going to do this for a second because I don't want to miss what all I want to say. Sometimes I'll listen to my videos and I'll pause and say, oh my God, I meant to say this. I want to add that, but I don't know how to do it yet. So I'm going to read this script, so bear with me. Speaking the truth is a powerful yet often challenging practice. It requires courage and vulnerability to be honest, both with ourselves and with others. When we speak the truth, we risk facing resistance, discomfort, and even conflict. In a world where opinions are abundant and varied, it can be difficult for some individuals to accept truths that challenge their beliefs or lifestyles. Many people prefer validation over confrontation, seeking agreement rather than facing uncomfortable realities. However, embracing the truth can lead to personal growth and deeper connections with those around us. By opening up to hear and speak truth, even when they are difficult or unpopular, we create space for authenticity and genuine understanding in our relationships. While it may be easier to avoid uncomfortable truth and sugarcoat reality, truth growth comes from embracing honesty and transparency. Only by acknowledging the truth about ourselves and others can we move forward with integrity and compassion. So those are some things that I wrote down, and I'm going to go over speaking the truth, especially in your friendships or with your family. That right there has always been hard for me because I want to sometimes, but I hesitate because it depends on the person and how close the relationship is. Because again, we all say, I'd rather have the truth, but then when we're given the truth, can we really handle it? I know that when a person is sensitive, I'm not going to normally speak the truth. And I'm not going to sugarcoat things, but I may get a little quiet around those type of people. I do have some friendships where I feel comfortable in speaking the truth, and they feel comfortable in speaking the truth to me. And it don't always have to be about ourselves. It could be about just a general conversation. Can you even have a general conversation with somebody and feel like if I don't side with them, will it be combative or will this turn out to be a conversation that I don't want to go deeper into? So a lot of it depends on the conversation and also depends on what type of friendship you have with this person. I'm known to be outspoken. And that I developed over the years because I wasn't outspoken. I didn't stand up for myself. I didn't say some things that I wanted to say. So now, as I got older, it's like, okay, I'm going to say it. It is what it is. I'm going to say it as gently as I can, but I have to get out my truth. And I will. And again, I do have some friendships where I feel very comfortable in doing that, and vice versa. So, embracing our truth, what does that do for us? It helps us grow. One thing I recommend is we all have something about ourselves, and we all know that not everybody's going to like us. Not everybody's going to agree with us. But sitting down, what is it about yourself? A lot of people don't know it, or they know it, but they feel like this is who I am, accept it or leave it. Not everybody's going to accept it. And do you want everybody to just keep exiting out of your life? This is where I say talk to a life coach, someone outside of your circle. I talked to a life coach, and There were some things I knew about myself that we touched on that I knew I could do better with. Then there were a couple of things that I didn't know about myself. And as we got further into our sessions, I started to see that that was something else that I could work on. I would highly recommend you talking to a therapist, or nowadays, most of them call themselves life coaches, which was very beneficial for me. And I worked on those things because we all like to think that I've been getting through life this far and I've been okay. But have you really been okay? So talking to a life coach can really help us get through some of those struggles that we may have in our relationships and even with our family and friends. And again, not everybody's going to agree with our lifestyle or our beliefs. That's when you have those hard talks with your friends. Because in a time where this world is changing so much, I'm seeing, I don't know about you in either your personal relationships or in your family, but I'm starting to see that people really want to do what they want to do. There are no perimeters there sometimes. I'm seeing people, when the world moves this way, they move that way with the world. So then you have these people that you have been connected to for so long, but they're different. They've changed. And this is where I have the talk with my friends. And I let them know nothing about me has changed, but I see this change in you. So I see this change in our friendship. Now, at times, those are what I call hard talks because you may lose that person in your life. So you really want to carefully think it over as to how you're going to approach the conversation, what to say, not what not to say. I always pray about it because if it's that important for me to think about it, maybe even lose a night's sleep about it, those are the talks that need to be had because I want to be comfortable in my circle. I don't want to feel that discomfort when that person comes around. Either there's an elephant in the room, as they say, or I don't feel as comfortable. So I'm not saying put everybody out of your circle that you don't feel comfortable with, because sometimes the problem is us. The problem can definitely be us. And by us not realizing it, recognizing the signs that we have, or by us not caring to fix ourselves, to even be open about hearing the truth about ourselves, we're the problem. And that's where I talk about it may be easier to avoid uncomfortable truth and sugarcoat reality. I learned that I'm not going to sugarcoat with people anymore. If you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it honestly. Because not only does that help you grow, but that helps me grow. That helps me grow in me being honest and transparent. And that comes from me acknowledging the truth in myself. I'm kinder and I'm gentler. Because before I could blow up, I didn't like to, but I could blow up. I was always the type back then that I'm going to say what I got to say and then I'm going to walk away. And not every relationship or situation, I realized I didn't need to walk away. I just needed to sit down and have the open and honest, transparent conversation with this person. And let's get to know one another. Now, I have friends that, oh my God, I've been friends with for more than half my life. So things change. People do change, people do grow. So that's where you sometimes look and say, I'm seeing a different person now. Well, they are a different person. Their walk in Christ might be different. Just things change. So you don't have to walk away from that relationship. You just sit down and you have the talk with that person. And I don't want to call it an uncomfortable talk because if I love you, I love you. Doesn't mean I love everything about you. It's hard to find where we love everything about one single person. But my love is grand. And if I love you, it's like I'm going to hold on to this friendship. I'm going to hold on to this person. Because once I love you, I see good in you. And most people have good in them because we know this. And I hate to say it because I hate people to always use this as an excuse, but I'm human. I'm not perfect. We know this. You don't have to keep hollering this to us. But if you've been in my circle for a while, you mean a lot to me. So I want to have those conversations and I want you to have them with me. If I can dish it out, I can receive it. I want my friends to tell me about myself. I'm an open book with them. It is what it is. This is who I am. And I want them to be the same with me and I want them to be comfortable. We don't have to have those confrontations. We don't have to have those times where if I call you, you don't want to talk. Oh, God, it's Lisa. I don't want my friends to feel that way. I want you to tell me how you truly feel about me because I am the first to say that I've changed over the years. I think it's for the better, but I have changed. I am definitely a different person than when you met me 20, 30 years ago. My walk is different. So when I'm talking to my friends now, I'm coming at them from a different angle than I was 30 years ago. I'm always trying to think Christ like. Even when I talk about world issues that's going on today with my friends, I know they can see the boldness in my talk because I'm passionate about what's going on in the world and liken it to the word. And when I talk to my son now, he says, I love when you say biblically speaking. I'm good for that because I'm comparing myself, my world, these times to the Bible. So I'm definitely a different person. But my question is, can you handle the truth? Do you really want to know what people around you are saying about you? Do you really want to know how they feel about you? And if you know you've changed and you grew into the person you are, then you should be okay with them coming out and telling you the truth. I don't like one-sided conversations. I don't do very well with those. So I want my friends to open up. When I'm going into a deep conversation, I want their opinion. I'm not saying that I'm always right. But I don't want you coming at me where I feel like we're getting ready to have a confrontation about this. This is not going to be good. So when I speak, I try to make sure my voice is calm. If you hear me taking a deep breath, that's because I'm calming myself in my voice. Because I don't want the confrontations in my friendships. I want us to always feel like, hey, when we hang up this phone, Lisa and I talked about it. We agreed to disagree. We didn't come to no resolution about it, but we let each other know how we felt about certain situations. Because I value people's opinion. And sometimes I might hang up in a day or two, maybe a week later, think about your side of the discussion and say, I see your point. I may not have seen it that day I talked to you because I was getting out my point, you was getting out yours. Boom, conversation done. But a week later, if I think about it, I might call you up and say, oh, remember you said, and I'll say whatever you said and I'll let you know. It makes sense to me now. So I like those kind of friendships where it's relaxed because at my age, these friendships ought to be relaxed. I can't keep saying, oh my gosh, she's drama. I can't take her anymore. We shouldn't be saying that now. We should know one another. We should respect one another's boundaries, and we should be able to have those conversations, the hard conversations, because the easy part of a friendship is when we all agree and we're all laughing together. That's the fun part of the relationships. But if we're talking about matters that's going on in the world, we're not all going to see it the same way. But I sometimes like to talk about it. I like to see where my friend's head is. Because if I changed over 30 years, I know they have too. It's a process. So I want to see your process, your progression. Open up. Can you handle the truth? Because when you ask me, I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, that might be my truth and still in your opinion, but it's my feelings and how I feel about you or a certain situation. People don't like the truth, y'all. A lot of people don't like the truth. A lot of people truly think that they don't need to work on themselves. They think I did the work. This is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. If you see a stubborn person like that, I'd rather leave it because they're not open to anything. You ever hear people start conversations off with, I don't care what nobody says? Those are people that aren't open to your opinion. They want you to shut up. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They told you in that first sentence, I don't care what nobody says. I don't want those kind of friendships. I don't need those kind of conversations where because you said it, it's in gold. It's like, don't say anything to me about it. This is how I feel about it. And I'm done. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not open to dialogue about it because I told you I don't care what nobody says. Those are the people sometimes I can talk to them for a minute and then we'll go back to what they didn't care what I was going to say. We will go back to that and I will let them know it's both of us on this phone having this conversation. So I do have an opinion about what you said. So if you're not open to change, if you're not open to having those type of conversations with your friends, that's not growth. It's you being stubborn, you being stuck where you are, and you don't care what nobody says. Many people prefer validation over confrontation. They want you to validate how they're feeling. They don't want to get into the uncomfortable conversations. They don't want to get into those deep conversations. If you're not validating what they said, their opinion, they don't want to go any further. That's when they got to get off the phone and wash the dishes. Um, I can tell, but I'm not one to sugarcoat. And I'm not one to always voice my opinion. Even though I've gotten better at speaking up for myself, I'm not always going to voice my opinion. When I see the conversation is dead, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I might let you get a few more sentences out, then I'm going to be the one to have to go wash the dishes. So, speaking the truth is a powerful yet challenging practice. And it's one that is a practice. You can't be afraid to sit someone down whom you love, whom you've been friends with for so long, who is a family member who you love. To have, sometimes you need to have those conversations. There are going to be people who are going, you're going to be met with resistance. Not everybody wants it. So you're going to be met with resistance. I have been there. I have done that. I have someone in my life who I love very much. I see them hitting a brick wall all the time. I tried talking to them years back. I was met with maybe more ignorance than I did with resistance. And those are the people that you back off. That's where you say, I'll pray from a distance. But for the most part, I want to talk about it. I don't want to look at people and say, wow, they've changed, they've gotten worse. Maybe they didn't get worse. Maybe just a couple of their views change, or maybe you're not reading them well. That's when I want to talk. I want to talk because I used to be so good at just walking away. Forget it. I'm done. I called myself the master of opening doors and walking out and shutting them when I closed them. I'm sorry, slamming the door when I closed the door. I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to judge one of our disagreements by saying this person's difficult. I can't deal with them. But I want to sit down and say to them, okay, here's my truth. I hope you can handle my truth. And I also want them to come back to me and say the same thing. We say it a lot in the world. Oh, I want the truth. Lord, just give me the truth. When I'm talking to God and I'm praying, I ask Him, show me what I'm doing wrong because I'm still flesh. We're always going to do something wrong, and we're not always going to please people. I don't want somebody whom I love to look at something that I did or said because I'm never going to do anything in malice. I'm never going to do anything to intentionally hurt you. But I don't want you to walk away and think less of me because something I said or did. I'd rather you talk to me. I can handle it. I can handle it. Because as you're talking to me, I'm praying and I'm asking God first for forgiveness. Because if I hurt you, that's not something I want to do. So I just want to talk a little bit about, can we really handle the truth? Do we really even want the truth? Some people may not want it. Some people may not, some people may know in their hearts that they were wrong. They approached it wrong. They said it wrong. And they're just not going to apologize. They feel they can move on and they're okay. They're not caring if you're okay. They are. But again, that depends on that friendship. That depends on that family member. I don't want to lose any of my good friends. Yes, we have a good time. Yes, most of the conversations we get off the phone and laugh. Sometimes my belly hurt from laughing so hard with some of my good friends. But I know there's going to be times where I may say something, or there's going to be times where we may have to sit down and talk about some things and come out with the truth, to be transparent about some things that we've been feeling because things change and people change. And I understand that. So, yeah, truth hurts. The truth can hurt, but the truth can also help you grow when you're learning about yourself. Because not only does the truth hurt, the tongue hurts. So if you say something that you feel like when you hang up, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe I should have said it this way. Or I hope this person understands. You need to pick up the phone and call them back and talk about it. So that's my 2 cents for today. I just had that on my mind. Sometimes I'll say something to my mom I'm so passionate about her living her best life. And sometimes I act like I'm the mother and she's the daughter. And I might say something, I'll hang up the phone, and then I'll either text her or call her and say, Mom, because if you have to think about it, maybe you should go back and, I don't want to say reword it, but explain what you meant. Or say maybe I could have been a little more sensitive about what I said, but I said it because it's my truth. Let's stick to what the topic is. It's about truth and about can people handle it. So, are you sensitive? Can you handle the truth? Do you really want to know the truth? Talk to your friends. Open up. Be more vulnerable, but also be open to hear what someone has to say. As long as they're not screaming it to you or you're not in the middle of an argument, if you're sitting there talking with your loved one, your soulmate, your friends, open yourself up to it. Handle your truth. I thank you all for listening. Hit the like button, and I'll be coming with more commentary pretty soon. Have a blessed day.